Master El Morya describes the law of compensation in the following transmission. Greetings, O sisters and brothers from the stars. I come forth to deliver this next piece of information, which is pertinent for understanding the full context of the universal laws. It is with great pleasure that I deliver the following instruction to you, the recipients of the divine knowledge of the universe. I come as your servant and elder brother, as I provide you the secrets for increasing your wealth. Allow me to begin by asking you the question, in what way may I serve you? I began in this way, for doing so provides an example of what comprises the basic foundation for the application of the law of compensation. The law of compensation is an extension of the law of cause and effect, in that it reflects the just rewards or punishments individuals receive for the seeds they have sown. It is an exact law, with its own deviations, that work to provide to the individual greater things than ever imagined. This occurs when the soul aligns with the higher self in service to others. The law of compensation is about giving and receiving. It is the law that guarantees that each will be provided for by God. It is the manifestation of divine order in all things, and that which grants freedom to the minds that work to dissolve the attitudes of poverty consciousness and insatiable needs. The law is flawless in its design. Basically, it says that for everything given, there shall be a return. But there is a twist to this law that not everyone realizes. This twist is called the Law of Tenfold Return. What this law reveals is that once a person learns to give freely from the heart, the universe returns the gift with a tenfold yield. This supports the premise that it is better to give than to receive. I give this knowledge freely from my heart, dear ones. Furthermore, I freely ask, what more can I give in this moment of time? In so doing, because my attitude, motive, and heart are all aligned with truth, I reveal to you now that I shall be rewarded tenfold for this offering. For most, the law of tenfold return goes into effect primarily when the individual learns to release fear that sends the message that there is not enough. Another condition that facilitates enactment of this law is when the auric fields of the initiate are attuned to the higher vibrations of light. Attaining a higher vibration in the light automatically raises the body, mind, and spirit into a higher dimension of mind, which releases the old programming that keeps one in bondage. One cannot separate the laws and their influence on individuals in a universe of oneness. Therefore, it must be reinforced that compensation is also the reflection of a person's multidimensional thinking. The most radiant one stated this when he declared, "As a man thinketh, so shall he become." This command assures that what is reaped is the just consequence of all that is sown. The law of compensation assures that everything is fair and all is in alignment with the divine, for the laws are not biased. Each soul is treated impartially and indifferently by the laws. Each soul is its own judge while on the earth plane, for free will dictates the gifts that will be given to each. Another factor that enters into just compensation is the fulfillment of promises and contracts made between lifetimes. Each soul who comes to earth is on a mission from God, whether he realizes it or not. Contracts are made in the etheric and reviewed periodically in the dream states, assessing the standards and measures of performance for the individual in embodiment. When promises are kept, the soul is rewarded tenfold. This is the mark of those who possess the Midas touch. When the word is not honored, a lower vibrational frequency is initiated, which sets the individual up for what are termed disappointments and frustrations, which are not really understood on the earth plane. When one assumes the complexity of all the dimensional realities and vibrational frequencies that impact the soul, one quickly sees that alignment with the light of the higher self is the only way out of bondage. All must be in the highest vibration and truth to control one's destiny. Connection to the higher self and to God's will grants peace, harmony, and a fulfilled life. Free will is God's gift to humanity. This allows all individuals to choose their own rewards in life based upon the application of integrity. Integrity is the key which grants the soul on the spiritual path greater gifts and rewards, including both spiritual and material offerings. When a soul feels helpless to change life events, invoking the law of perpetual transmutation of radiant energy in cooperation with the higher self is the way to remedy the situation. Apply this law and wait for the returns. And that perpetual transmutation, that is a law yet to be discussed. It comes a little later. Applying this law creates divine order, and the compensation that comes surpasses all understanding. Speaking of compensation, there is another important aspect of this law which includes payment to oneself. Too often individuals give to others and do not give to themselves. This depicts a lack of self-love and creates an imbalance in the energy fields that support the natural flow of energy. All must learn to love themselves first, and from this state of mind all else flows. The more you love yourselves, the more love you have to give to others. It is like a cup that is always full. The cup that overflows is the cup of divine love that spills out into the universe, touching the robes of all others. By not treating oneself with the same kindness bestowed upon others, a cycle of deprivation is established. Positive thoughts, attitudes, words, and actions are needed at all times to keep the energy flowing. Blockages create inequalities. Although, from the universal perspective, inequalities are only perceived and are not reality. Nevertheless, all must be kept in alignment with harmony and love, and this includes the love of self, which is contained within. Overcompensation to others is another stumbling block to the smooth operation of this law. The human psyche is clever and can deceive one to believe that if one gives more to another, then that soul is deemed more worthy and loving. Therefore, giving must be a good and honorable thing in that it justifies one's own self-worth. As was stated earlier, giving and giving freely is an honorable thing and the action that grants freedom. But if giving is done with the wrong motive, such as giving to make up for the lack of love within, then the energies once again are blocked. All must give equally to themselves and to others to keep the energy balanced. Balance, balance, balance. This is the only path to follow when achieving mastery. If balance is maintained at all times and truth and integrity are adhered to, then the law of compensation shall be realized. In honor of the God within, I, El Moroi, do complete this transmission for the divine. Go in peace. Summary. The law of compensation is the law of cause and effect as it applies to material and spiritual gains in life. Some of the characteristics of its operation are as follows. We may not be able to receive abundance because of our beliefs and programming that we cannot be spiritual and also enjoy abundance. This is changed when we move into higher dimensions of the mind. We receive gifts and blessings according to the degree in which we have given to others. Our gifts to others are rewarded with a tenfold return for those gifts that we have given freely from our hearts. We must be able to love and give to ourselves first, as well as to be able to give to others.